Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Abuja. Let's begin by letting you know what the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, said today. He's defended the demolition of properties in the nation's capital. He's saying that it won't be swayed by blackmail. The minister said the structures being demolished by the Federal Capital Development Authority are properties illegally built on government lands. Quote, he says, "Let me use this opportunity to tell Nigerians and residents of Abuja, we are not afraid of blackmailing." Let me allow you to listen to part of what the minister said in his speech earlier today.
All those who have not paid, who thought we are joking, I am going to revoke all. I am going to do it. You think that, nothing will happen. Something will happen. Don't come and be praising me, I'm doing bridge, I'm doing this. With what? So if you know whether you are seated here, go and check your record. If you have not paid, I will give you time to pay. When once the time expires, forget it. I will revoke it and allocate to those who will pay. And say, please, we have this problem. How do you help us? And not to begin to blackmail people, carry people to go to social media. Minister Wike has come to carry somebody's land. He gave it to one House of Representatives. Ask chairman of FCT, who does not have land in National Assembly. Ask him.
Nyesom Wike, Minister of the FCT, on demolitions in Abuja. So much to talk about. We've got an update for you on what the governors are saying about state police. It does look like that might have a free and easy passage this time around, but I'll give you details. Plus, tonight we're going to have some conversation about national security, what Interior Ministry is doing. What you saw what President Bola Tinubu did. Details of that. Plus, some Nigerians, they spoke out their minds on the e-gate, whether it's working or not. And we're going to speak to the powers that be tonight on those efforts on the program. So stick around, but let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The member representing Jos South and East Federal Constituency, Alfred Ilia Ajang, has defected from the Labour Party LP to the All Progressives Congress APC. In a letter read by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, during plenary today, the now defected member claimed that the crisis in the Labour Party was the reason for his defection. The House was thrown into a rowdy session as some lawmakers raised eyebrows over the content of the letter. Lending his voice, Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda says the letter is not in accordance with the Constitution of the House and as such should be rejected. He said as a standing order, any member who wishes to defect must first inform his constituents and party members on the platform on which he was elected before any letter is read. Honorable Chinda argued that since this criterion had not been met, the letter should not be admitted. The Speaker, however, overrode the observation. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, is calling on ECOWAS member states to demonstrate a strong commitment to facilitating and improving trade within the sub-region. He made the call at the 93rd Ordinary Session of the Ministers of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in Abuja. Ambassador Tuga, who is also the chairman of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers, pledged Nigeria's commitment to private sector investments and partnership across the region. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, says the pronouncement of the Supreme Court on local government autonomy must be enforced in its entirety without giving different interpretations to any aspect of the judgment. The AGF was speaking at a conference on judiciary correspondence in Abuja. He adds that some states seem to be acting in breach of the judgment. The minister further adds that those at the local government areas had suffered enough negligence and it was time to hold the three arms of government accountable.
People at the grassroots have suffered long negligence and it is enough. The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR is here to right the wrongs of the past and put the country on a high pedestal among Committee of Nations.
Governors elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, members of the National Assembly, and heads of key government establishments have thrown their weight behind President Bola Tinubu over his economic policies. Addressing the media shortly after a meeting behind closed doors in Abuja, the chairman, Progressive Governors Forum, and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, says the meeting is to strengthen support for the APC national government. Some of the prominent figures in attendance are the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, governors of APC states, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, and that of Budget and National Planning, among others. The Adamawa State government has approved the 2025 budget proposal and appropriation bill, totaling over 486 billion naira. This approval was granted during a State Executive Council meeting held in the council chambers of the Government House in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, presided over by the Deputy Governor, Professor Kaletapwa Farauta George. Briefing journalists at the end of the meeting, the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, James Ilia, reveals that the Council approved the 2025 budget proposal and appropriation bill titled the Budget of Service.
So President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday next week will present the budget 2025 to the joint session of the National Assembly. The president is set to present the appropriation bill, hoping that that will be passed for more spending of government and for the plans of the members of the public. All right. Earlier in the week, President Bola Tinubu commissioned the Nigeria Immigration Service Technology and Innovation Complex at his headquarters in Abuja. The data complex comprises the Command and Control Center, which is for the regular migration, the NIS Data Center, the ECOWAS Biometric Card Production Center, the Interior Data Center, and a 0.5 kilowatt solar power plant. In the opening remarks of the immigration head, she said the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Technology Innovation Complex will ascertain the risk level of persons entering the country, detect irregular migration and patterns, and monitor unmanned borders in hard-to-reach areas nationwide. Tonight, I'm being joined by the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, to give an insight on what exactly these are all about and some of the indices that had propelled the decision to put up those facilities. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for joining us. And I must thank you. Every time I come to you to come on the program, you always yield to the call. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And congratulations on that commissioning. I think it's a whole lot of effort put into it. Perhaps a lot of people may not have had an understanding of what this was all about. Now, the inauguration, on one hand, this is what we're seeing on television when President Bola Tinubu, a few days ago, commissioned that center. But the other part that a lot of people perhaps did not see is the e-gate, where Nigerians might be able to come in and out of the country and being not having to go through physical checks. But let me show you what the e-gate looks like at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport here in Abuja. And earlier today, journalists were being asked to look at how it works and perhaps also get the views of some of the passengers who experience the e-gate and allow you to listen to what they said while going through the e-gate. Take a listen to some of them.
Good step, showing that we're moving forward as a country. Like, things are going to be way easier now. Like, when you're coming back, you don't have to join like long queues anymore. So I think it's a very, very good technology.
Coming in is much faster, and it's the electronic process is working much better. So it's not like before we have to wait for the physical or the manual part. This is quite straightforward.
I'm pretty impressed with this. It's pretty quick as well.
Because I've traveled, and this is the first time I'm seeing it. I actually have to ask them, like, is this new? Are you launching this for the first time? And it's really impressive, trust me, because it makes traveling easy and smart.
So well efficient, and honestly, like, I even thought I was back in UK. I can't lie. So it's actually quite good. Yeah.
These are the views of some Nigerians in the respect of the e-gate. Well, all right, let's begin the conversation. First and foremost, the e-gate, let's look at it. The president didn't go to the e-gate to commission it, but it's working fully now, isn't it?
Yeah, as you can see, thank you for having me once again, Sheon. And let me make a correction. I mean, the solar farm is not 0.5 kilowatt. It's the solar farm with a battery capacity of 4 megawatts. So it's not 0.5 kilo, because it's the way the whole system's been designed is an end-to-end solution. And it's a solution, the solar farm powers the entire infrastructure, the entire complex. So it's an end-to-end, so whereby the whole infrastructure is being powered via renewable energy. So that's part of what this administration has been able to do.
So there won't be any power outage whatsoever?
No, not at all.
So if there is a power cut in the country and power cut that affects the immigration center, for how long can that center operate without the national grid?
No, it can operate for as long as forever, because it's off-grid.
It's off-grid totally?
It's off-grid. We have about 3 levels of power solutions. One is the solar farm, which, as I said, with a battery of about 4 megawatt, which can even without sunshine for 72 hours, it still runs perfectly. And of course, the PHCN is just a backup, then the gen is another backup. So because it's a complex, especially the command and control center that is aimed at, there has to be 24/7 surveillance of our border solution. And let me tell you this, which is very important. Before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came, we had lip service being paid to border control in Nigeria. And the president came on board and decided to work on issue of border governance, because border governance, border management is very key, either you like it or not, into entrenchment of security. As I've said so many times on this program, a secured border is a safe nation. If you cannot secure your border, if you cannot be in control, you can't govern your border, you can never secure your country. So this particular president has made it a point of duty to Nigerians to be able to protect its border, and that's what this government has been able to do. Now to the issue of the e-gate, 100% the e-gate is up and running. We just saw it now today. People are already using the e-gate, and it attends to you in under 20 seconds, which is faster. So you have no interaction anymore with an immigration officer if you are a Nigerian. So because what this government promised from the onset is sweet experience, it's about renewed hope, it's about changing the narrative, it's about business unusual, it's about giving Nigeria that place of pride, and Nigerians coming into Nigeria and feeling so happy, feeling welcomed, back to their homes, and to their home country. And that's what we've been able to do. So with the e-gate now, you come, you just put your passport, scans, you get your biometric, records you in our system that you are in no more stamping in of your passport. As if you go to the US, you don't get stamped. Americans don't get stamped in. You get it. So now we have migrated to that level whereby everything is virtual, everything is automated. And of course, this data is saved and of course, well backed up. And of course, there's ease of cross-referencing, you understand? And of course, as I said earlier, there's also the opportunity of pre-profiling and of course, taking note of who comes in and who goes out. So
this is the e-gate is specifically the e-gates and the ease of passage back into the country.
Yeah.
Into the country is for Nigerians.
No,
alone.
just Nigerians only.
Okay, so what happens is you swipe your passport,
sure,
the data page of your passport,
yeah,
on the electronic device, yes, there. And it allows you in. It opens the gate.
It opens the gate, yes.
And you go in.
No, once it authenticates, if you put your passport, it automatically authenticates. It cross-checks it with it.
If you have a security problem, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Exactly. So if the passport is fake,
yeah,
or it doesn't. If the passport is fake, the first gate will not open. So, but if the passport is authenticated and whatever, then once you go in, it checks through your biometrics. If it is, because That's to ensure that nobody carries another person's passport. So if the biometric feature in the database is different from the person that is standing, it won't open the other gate. You have to go back.
Or if you're a person of interest.
No, automatically it flags that. But I don't want to discuss too much on that for security reasons. But trust me, all those things is already integrated to watch list, to Interpol. And I tell you something, in few days, about 10 people were apprehended, persons of interest.
Yeah, with all of these
with all these technologies. So what it means basically is that Nigeria is a no-go area for people of interest. And again, there are a lot of things I won't be able to discuss about, pattern of life analysis and a lot of things, and cross-referencing, a lot of things in the background. So, but what we're trying to say is that this president promised innovation, because as I always say, the mantra is simple. As this saying goes, that a Mongol without a horse, is like a hawk without wings. This particular administration is about providing innovation, because a leader without an innovative mind is like an eagle without its wings. So it's the how far you can go depends on your innovative mind. And that's what this particular government
we have about how many international airports in and out of the country now? We have Lagos. We have
5.
We have about 5 of them.
Yeah.
So this is active only in Abuja and Lagos.
Yes, for now. The other areas, because we had to. You don't just start everything at the same time, But the key issue is that all the other gates are ready. I mean, they're on ground, and once we've started this now in the 2 airports, then the other 3, which is Kano, Enugu, and Port Harcourt, will follow suit. They're all on ground. The e-gates are available. They are on ground as we speak.
So my biggest fear is that on the immigration headquarters side, power is secured.
Yeah.
But at our airports, there's still outage of power. And these e-gates will not work without power.
No. You have to give that to FAN. FAN is actually doing tremendous work now. I think under Minister Festus Keyamo and the management of FAN, they're doing a lot more. They're doing a lot. They're doing some yeoman's job. We have to give that to them. But don't worry, all those things have been factored. And do not forget that these e-gates have UPS solutions, they're backup power solutions. You see, some of us came from the private sectors. Some of us, we've had years of experience in project management. And you have to look at all threats. You have to do your SWOT analysis. What are the threats, to the successful implementation of the project? You identify those problems, foreseeable problems, and you prefer solutions in anticipation. An innovative mind, will not wait till problem comes before finding solutions. You have to anticipate problems and be able to solve these problems before they come. And I tell you, end-to-end architecture has been designed. And at the moment, this particular government, the most important thing, and I have to say this, is that when Mr. President campaigned, he campaigned on the premise of innovation, on creativity, and Nigerians are beginning to see this.
All right. So that's on one hand. Let's go to the complex now. First and foremost, why name that center Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center? Why?
The name is not Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center. The name is Bola Ahmed Tinubu Technology Innovation Center. Because number one, it's about innovation. It's about resilience. It's about boldness. It's about being able to dare the undareable, the courage. And we know that this is what this particular government is about. And number two, which is very important, and I have to say this, is that for a man who decided to pay attention to issue of border governance, it is just important that is recognized. And I tell you something, Mr. President was not even aware till he got there that the place had been named after him.
So it was your decision?
Yes, it was the decision, not my decision, the decision of the management of Nigerian Immigration Service, Ministry of Interior, and everybody, because we hope that will be able to draw inspiration for further innovation, inspiration for better tenacity and boldness, because to take very hard decisions.
There are those who are worried that you're taking away from the fact that the Muhammadu Buhari government had also they had this in mind and they started it.
No, the
centering,
the idea
of...
Hold on. Don't say that. as much as I'm not, honestly, I don't want to be dragged into a needless debate. The command and control center was started from scratch by this government. Take note of that. The solar farm was started from scratch by this government. The visa approval center with its data center was started afresh, from scratch, foundation laid by this government. And I remember that January 1, 2023, you were on that site with me to see the virgin land, to see how this thing started from scratch. So I do not understand what you're talking about as, with respect to
those who will say that the origin of the immigration concept.
Hold on. The origin, like what I said, we are not competing. Government is in continuum. And we are here to complement efforts of predecessors. We are not here to condemn. But what I'm just trying to say is that a lot of the structure that we see today, the command and control center, 100% was started from foundation by Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government.
So Bola Ahmed
Tinubu ends, hold on.
You are saying that he ends the right and the honor of being named, of that center being named after him. That's what you're saying?
No, definitely. But what I even want us to focus on, it's not about naming it after the president. It's about the significance of this particular complex to the security architecture of Nigeria. It's about the relevance of bringing this project to fruition. The API project was started by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration and had been brought to fruition. The question we need to ask ourselves is that will this lead to better security for Nigeria? Will it lead to a better enhanced border governance? That is the question. And that is what this president has been able to do. And let me say this. When I came on this program, the promise this government made was data center of 1.4 petabyte, if you can recall. Mm-hmm. Today, the data center we have today is not 1.4. It's 8.3 petabyte. That's what the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government had done. When we came on this project, the issue of the solar farm was never in question at the beginning of it. But we reviewed the whole architecture, and today we have a solar farm, we have an energy solution, a renewable energy solution at that brings security, energy security to the infrastructure we've been able to put on ground. The visa approval center was not on the table. Mr. President came and has been able to do that. The personalization center, centralized personalization center, as we speak, is ongoing. The idea was brought by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. But like what I said, we are not here. Honestly speaking, I won't sit here and start comparing an apple with an orange. What is important is that Mr. President is building a new Nigeria. This particular administration is putting in all effort to make sure that Nigerians can sleep with their two eyes closed. This administration is putting all attention into making sure that we have a Nigeria we can all call home. We have a country we can all be proud of. And we have a country that will be a no-go area for any person of interest anywhere in the world. And that is what I think we need to concentrate on.
Let's begin the conversation. And I like Nigerians to have a sense of what is available for us in terms of border control, border monitoring, border security in this country. We have majorly three major border types in this country: the land, the sea, and the air borders. Right. And if you can bring up the picture of the command and control center, which gives us an understanding of what that center looks like. It's a large screen. I've not been there since it was completed, but I know the last time I visited, it was a big screen that you could see literally all our air borders. Okay, that's give us an understanding of, first and foremost, the air borders. What can we see? What do we know? And how much of help can this center be in terms of border security and monitoring?
Well, Sean, let me be sincere with you. There are a lot of things I won't be able to talk about because of security concerns, but I'll just give you snippets, just small things. Now, this solution is being integrated with the Advanced Passenger Information System. So what it means is that before anybody comes into Nigeria, we have your record, we pre-profile you, we benchmark, we look at it, cross-check it with all index list anywhere in the world, and of course, it becomes a no-go area for any person of interest. And what this does basically is that it ensures that people are no more profiled subjectively. It removes subjectivity and replaces it with objectivity, which is the global trend, anywhere in the world. And that is what we've been able to do. And also, there are other surveillance issues from our land borders that can be analyzed and etc. But I won't be able to go deeply into that.
Are you able to cover land and sea borders?
No, definitely. Definitely.
All the borders are monitored?
For the regular borders for now.
Okay.
That's why we call it regular. And it is our target that within the next 1 year, we'll be done with the irregular. You understand, which covers the entire 4,047 kilometers of our border space, the unconventional entry point.
A digital monitoring?
Yes, of course, we're already
So wherever you may be in the country, be it the Nigeria-Niger border, the Nigeria-Chad border, the Nigeria-Cameroon border, the Nigerian-Ghanaian border, all of those borders are going to be monitored.
No, that's what I'm telling you.
Digitally and remotely?
Digitally. We border 4 countries, basically, terrestrially. Land borders, that's Niger, Chad, Cameroon, and of course, Benin Republic, spanning 4,047 kilometers. So the regular migration, you understand, center is being sorted, 100% delivered, and that's what Mr. President commissioned and what you can see. Now, the irregular, within the next 1 year, we're going to be done with that. What I'm just trying to say is that the irregular migration center was started by Mr. President, and he finished it in 1 year, and it's been commissioned. And I'm happy you were there January 1. We were there together. Yeah. You saw it from the beginning. It was done by the president. And once this has been done, there's an integration of all these points to the centralized system.
So what can we do in terms of arresting criminality, in terms of arresting any threat to our nation? How much of what can these monitoring do for us beyond some big men sitting and monitoring what is going on back here in the headquarters?
No.
What are we able to achieve?
No, point of correction. It's not about big men. What we did, let me just correct this. Basically, this system is being monitored by NIS officers because that's what they've been paid to do. The 2 primary responsibilities of NIS are 1, border governance and management. Number 2 is migration management. These are the main 2. The other one, which is travel documents, whatever, it's by the side. So the core responsibility, what qualifies them as a paramilitary organization, what qualifies them as an institution within our national security architecture are these 2 responsibilities. So officers, like what I said during the commissioning, we understand that you can have the technology, you can have the infrastructure. The question is about the human factor. And what have we done? 250 officers have been trained, and there is constant shift of 88 hours spanning 3 shifts per day. So that is 24 hours a day. So every officer's there, they have the supervisors, we have the whole organogram, the architecture, they've started working. It is from there that they monitor, and a lot of work is being done.
What is the check and balance like?
No, there's a lot there where I cannot disclose that, because when you do that, when you discuss checks, balances, and all these things, automatically you also provide a venue for compromise, all right?
Because so the fear
as much,
is that,
hold on, Sean, as much as I'm interested in sharing information, I must also be mindful of security concerns. All right. But what I want you to take note of, and we're giving these assurances to Nigerians, is that it's an end-to-end solution. And of course, there's been a critical SWOT analysis of the whole ecosystem of the solution.
Minister, you have not answered my question.
What's it?
And my question is, apart from creating a solution, because that solution has an endpoint, what will these solutions do for Nigerians? What are we able to achieve with it?
No, we're able to get information. We're able to preempt issues and to be able to nip them in the bud before they happen. For instance, I'll give you an example. If a person of interest or whatever, somebody who has a negative pattern of life, a pattern of movement over the last, say, 3 weeks or 1 month, etc., wants to come to your country and you flag the person, you pick the person before he commits an atrocity, that is what responsible countries do. You don't wait.
All security agencies have a handshake with this?
A lot of the DSS but DSS and a couple of, yes, of course, we're working as a team. As I said, it's about Nigeria. It's not about NIS. It's not about Interior. It's not about it's about us, everybody working together to making sure that Nigerians can sleep with their two eyes closed. That is the agenda. In the whole of this thing, NIS is not interested in being the winner. Ministry of Interior doesn't want to win this. Nigeria should be the winner. It's all about Nigeria first, Nigeria second, Nigeria third, Nigeria always. So the key issue is that it takes us from a reactive mechanism, a reactive mode to a proactive mode. That is what security has turned to. Let me tell you, security is like science, it's dynamic. You do not create a static solution to a dynamic problem. Insecurity is an evolution. The trend, the pattern keeps evolving. Therefore, solutions must continue to evolve. So a 1980s solution to insecurity might not be able to solve a 2024 problem. So there's constant, the word now is about proactiveness, ability to be able to predict, ability to be able to nip each things in the bud before it happens. That is it. Right. I do not, hold on, Sean, let me make this point clear. It's not about investigative security. It's not about indicative security. It's not even about curative security. It's about is about being able to preempt, being able to know and deduce pattern beforehand, and you solve it. That's why you see in the United States, you see in UK, you see all over the world. They tell you, oh, some people are planning terrorism or terrorism, they've been arrested. Before you don't just allow it to happen before you start looking for them. You don't want people to come into Nigeria, commit atrocities, then at the end of the day, you now arrest them after people have lost their lives, after properties have been lost, after insecurity.
So this will help us to achieve
to a large extent.
Just hold on, Minister. We need to go on a break. But what I'm also concerned about is data, because without proper data, security issues cannot be achieved effectively. So, but there is a data part of this project which Nigerians need to be privy to. We'll talk about that when we come back from this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. We can tell you that 36 state governors of the Federation have submitted their position on the establishment of state police, with most of them saying that they have supported the initiative. This was part of the outcome of the National Economic and Council meeting chaired by the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, at the State House earlier today. The briefing State House correspondents after the over 4 hours of meeting. Governor Ubasani of Kaduna State says there was an overwhelming support for the establishment of state police by the governors because the security challenges the states are faced with. According to him, NEC will come up with a report after which it will hold public engagement. Let's get back to the conversation with the Honorable Minister for Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for your time tonight. Let's go to the issue of data, because data is very key. Nigeria has had a lot of problem in being able to put together data to be able to harness all of the necessary information and intelligence. But I see that there are about 2 or 3 components of data in the infrastructure that have been put in place. The NIS data center, the Interior Data Center. Give us an understanding. These 2 data components of the infrastructure, what exactly does it stand for?
No, well, number one, it's not the NIS Data Center. It's the Visa Application Center, Visa Approval Center, having a data. They are all interconnected, if you understand the way this technology is, you understand. So it's just about sectorization. It's all together, you know. So, and that's then the other one is the Interior, is for the Ministry of Interior, because what we've built, it's not just about NIS. That's one correction I need to make, because the whole infrastructure, people see that, oh, it's like immigration. No, it's not about immigration. It's about all agencies within the purview of the ministry being able to exchange data, being able to have handshake, and being able to have a centralized point of data repository. You understand? So you have a scenario where the fire service, the correctional center, the board, and of course the NSCDC, shares assets.
So they have a seat in the building. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So they have their own
within the security, within the data system management.
But there's a point of convergence.
Of course,
they share intelligence.
It's like an SPOC, a single point of contact. You understand? So they share. So what it means is that it means that for them to be able to react, you understand, to exchange data, to enforce, it's seamless. It's within a unified space. Okay, and part of what it does is that it helps government to save a lot of funds. For instance, gone are the days when we used to have diverse, various agencies, with diverse storage of data here and there, and there's no unison and stuff like that. So we've been able to solve that. You understand? So basically, it's like an SPOC in itself, and it's like a convergence solution, for all agencies within the purview of the Ministry of Interior. And this, of course, will help to avoid proliferation of data, abuse of the, and it's a more harmonized solution.
How watertight is these data infrastructure? Because there was a time that we know there was a breach on data for Nigerians, but the fear is that how ironclad is the infrastructure that you have put in place?
No, it's what
the
class.
Fear of being breached.
Hold on, Shaun. It's what class, all right? It's what class. As I've said, only the best solution is good enough for Nigeria. Always understand that. That's the mantra of this administration. I told you, I've said it several times on this program, that the president told us, he keeps saying that, don't give Nigerians a good solution. Only the best is good enough. And a lot of effort has gone into this. But like what I said, there's certain areas I don't want to delve into for security reasons. I hope you respect that. You understand? Because the bottom line is not just to grandstand. The bottom line is not just it's not a razzmatazz. The bottom line is for Nigerians to feel the effect of the solution that this government has been able to deploy. And you cannot ensure that when you jeopardize the integrity of the system.
So in terms of intelligence gathering, we've gone a notch higher.
Of course. I said, Nigeria, obviously, in terms of intelligence, in terms of border governance, border management, migration management, in terms of harmonization of data, system handshake, and convergence technology, we're obviously not where we were. You understand?
1 year ago.
Of course, definitely.
And I was quite happy with the IATA representative at the event. It's an international organization. It means that whatever we have here, especially when it comes to air travels, is in synchrony with whatever that is available elsewhere.
Let me borrow you a word. Let me borrow you an expression. IATA described this project as a lighthouse project for Africa. You know what that means. I don't want to go deeper than that.
So on the continent of Africa?
It's a lighthouse project. You know the meaning of that.
Could it be the best, from your own knowledge, of this kind of border technology that is available on the continent?
Not just in the continent. It's comparable with the best in the world.
Even America.
And that is, I was in the US and I saw the command and control center. And I tell you, the solution we've deployed, after we had bilateral exchanges with some countries, a lot of countries now, globalized, economically developed countries, are taking a cue from Nigeria. That's why I told you at the beginning of this project, the whole agenda for this government, the whole motivation is knowing fully well that a leader without an innovative mind is like an eagle without wings.
So tell us about the ECOWAS Passport Production Center.
No, of course, the whole essence of that is because there's some people we're trying to work, let us have a solution that cuts across every strata of the society. You understand? We do not want a discriminatory regime based on economic class. We don't want that. So, for instance, there's some people, all they just want to do is to be able to go to Benin Republic, Cotonou, and do their business and come back to Nigeria. Some, all they want to do is just to go to Niger. Some, they just want to go to Ghana. Some of these people do not need an international passport. So why go pay 50,000 naira when, of course, you're not using it to travel abroad. So what we've tried to do is to be able to create like a passport card that allows you to be able to move around ECOWAS. I don't not forget that Mr. President, he is the chairman of ECOWAS, and it is good that Mr. President is leading ECOWAS from the front by making the ECOWAS biometric card more available to everybody, regardless of your economic status, to be able to ease regional integration and, of course, handshake within the subcontinent.
So, in essence, what happens is that this production center, from beginning to the end, will produce the passport.
No, not a passport. You just spoke about ECOWAS card. ECOWAS card is different from ECOWAS passport.
I'm talking about the card center, the production.
Yes.
The ECOWAS card production center.
Yeah.
So from end to end, they start and finish right there on that ground.
Definitely.
Data collection.
And of course, there's an API between the passport application system. For instance, there's some people that have applied for passport before, but you don't have interest in renewing. Why do we need to take your data again? All that needs to be done is for us to pull the passport number, retrieve your data. There's an API, just a simple solution. So at the end of the day, you save people time, you save people money, you save people stress. That's what this government is about. As I said earlier, it's about sweet experience. It's about giving people more comfort to be able to transact, more comfort to be able to move, create better mobility with ease while not compromising security. That's what it's all about.
This must have cost a lot.
Well, the good thing is, I tell you, this is about innovation. You know, a kobo, we didn't take a kobo from government to do all this project.
Where did you get the money from then?
It's about leveraging on the public and leveraging on relationship and, of course, being innovative and the beauty of effectiveness.
This got fake approval. All of this got fake approval, but not fake disbursement.
No, a lot of this, let me tell you, like what I said, a lot of these things had been in the pipeline for a very long time, all right? But when we came on board, we decided to take it to the next level in line with emerging trends and global best practice, and started it from scratch. And today, Nigeria has something to be happy for. And like what I said, this is the beauty of the public partnering with the private sector. But of course, 100% government owned and 100% government managed and 100% for the interest of the Nigerian people.
Tell us about prison, because the correctional center, because we don't usually get to talk about correction center, the NSCDC, and the fire service, which are part of your purview as minister. The correctional center, apart from Kuje, which you worked on, which other of the correctional center are you working on?
No, we're working on a lot, but that's not even the point, all right? The major thing that we think we've been able to do, which is very key and something you should be very concerned about, was like when we had a jail attack, not jail attack, jailbreak in Suleja, we were unable to have access to real data, all right? For one or two reasons. But when there was flood in Maiduguri, within 2-3 hours, we were able to get the data. Look at that time and what the difference. And that is the power of what this government has brought into force. So information, data, as you rightly said, data is the new oil. The level at which you can manage and preserve data determines your decision-making process. And the efficiency of your decision-making process determines your performance and effectiveness. And that's what this government has been able to do.
So what you have done is to be able to create a data that connects all of the database for all inmates across the country.
No, that had been done, and of course there's more of surveillance. There's a lot of other things. You see,
holding back
certain things, because of course in our correctional centers, there's some of these correctional centers that you have persons of interest and etc. And when they know the security,
infrastructure
and all those things,
we're bothered about the infrastructure.
No, we're doing
the
a lot.
Welfare.
We're doing a lot, and even the welfare. Let me tell you, the president is doing a lot in that regard. And for our officers generally, no president in the history of Nigeria, no government in the history of Nigeria has been more magnanimous, has treated our officers like the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Number one, I said it the last time, in 18 months, this government has promoted over 50,000 officers of Nigerian paramilitary. That's the 4 agencies under the purview of the board. The same thing, the peculiar, the welfare, the salaries, the allowances, and etc. This government has been able to do that. And of course, too many things to measure. So there is a lot of motivation because we believe that if you put the infrastructure and you're doing all your reforms and people are not motivated, of course, it's not going to work. So you need to get them motivated as much as put the infrastructure. Then they will be poised to be able to deliver on various mandates of their agencies. And that's what we've been able to do in the last 18 months.
Honorable Minister for Interior, Olubunmi Tunjojo, thank you so much indeed. I wish you the very best in your endeavor in the Interior Ministry. And I'm hoping one day the Interior Ministry will be like the Homeland Center in America, where after the 9/11, they learned a very big lesson and they rejig their internal security architecture. With data, you can do so much more. But thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you,
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. God bless Nigeria.